progress.
Hanoi chocolate.
Good evening. This is the Norfolk, Massachusetts Conservation Commission meeting of April 13th, 2022. Before we begin, we're live and we're also on Zoom. So if anybody has a question on Zoom, just give us an indication, a wave, and we'll recognize you. First, I'd like to introduce to the community and the board members, Caitlin Nover, who is our new conservation agent. And we welcome her. She's got a lot of experience in the field, working as a consultant with other towns, and I think she would be a good fit for us, and that's why Rich McCarthy hired her. So.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay, first, 1 and 5 Hanover Street. That's moving to 511, so I'll take a motion to move that.
Adam Zucker so moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, put it at 7 o'clock then for 7 o'clock on the 11th. 124 MacArthur Avenue.
Actually,
What?
we had
I'm sorry.
the Eagle Scout project slated for 7 p.m.
I'm sorry.
appointments.
Oh, I'm sorry. You must be Thomas Light.
Yep.
Come on up. Why don't you come up by the table? You can have a microphone.
Okay.
Hello? Is it on?
Yeah, it's for the people at home, so you have to keep it close to your mouth.
Okay. So I'm here to present my final report for my Eagle Scout project, which was creating a new trail in Campbell Forest and Town. Overall, it went really well. It took a few weekends to complete and multiple hours. I sent a presentation to Val through email, so if you ever get a chance, you can look through that.
If he shares with us.
I'll share. I also have a few pictures. I can.
By the way, did you take the map down?
Oh, yes, I have one with me right.
Because
Here.
I walked there today with my dog, and where's the map?
Oh, I must have just missed you. I was there today too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So I've edited both the maps from the North Street and Alice Street entrances.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
In the orange, that is my trail. And they've been re-varnished, so they stay.
Does that map show to Alice Avenue?
Yeah.
Oh, up on top. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And they'll be put back tomorrow.
Okay. At your convenience.
I can send this around. Here's a few pictures of the Boy Scouts also helping me with the trail. Without their help, I would not have been able to complete it as quick. So,
It's nice. We like walking it.
and people have already been using it. When we were working on it, people were already walking around it. And then they figured, oh, it was a dead end because we hadn't finished the trail.
Yeah. It's a nice trail. And very good job. Thank you.
And last weekend, we finished it off by putting markers up on the trees. So after this is up, it's complete.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions,
Are there
comments?
still anybody, Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts camping out there anymore? Or
Oh, yeah.
They're still camping out there?
Yeah, they are, I think.
They'll do it in the spring.
Yeah.
I've been out there, but I haven't seen any camps. It looks like they've got an area that they actually use to camp.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So.
Yeah, in fact, that's a good point. I'm going to contact your leader and let him know he has to come to us, not the Recreation Department, to have permission to camp there.
Okay.
Or else we'll call the cops. And the fire department. They'll put your fire out. So, but overall, no, thank you. It was a very good job. We appreciate it.
Yeah, excellent job.
Thank you.
And the next Eagle Scout project I already have in mind, I want somebody to do a drone over side from yours on Lynn Farms. because I think there's going to be there's a lot of land there, and we could put in some more trails, but it'd be nice to get somebody out there and do a drone that's working. But thank you again. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Okay. Now we can go. 1 and 5 Hanover Street, we're continuing. 120, 124 MacArthur Avenue. Is somebody here from MacArthur? No?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Frank?
I-
Franz? Yeah.
Actually, I can, hang on a second.
Your name, say your name and address.
Yes, Franz Burke.
And where are you from? Or address?
Needham, 163 Highland Avenue, Needham.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You've got the day.
I can't tell, I was under the impression we're all set.
Are we?
So I had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting, and it seemed that the commission was ready to close, but held off
Oh, okay.
because you were in between agents.
Yeah.
Since I started, I've had a chance to review the project, and I did come up with some proposed special conditions that you might want to consider adding. Some of the special conditions I was thinking of would be to require erosion controls consisting of a silt fence and silt sock with a minimum 18-inch diameter. It's a pretty steep slope out there, and there's going to be quite a bit of fill brought in to bring up that site. So I think that would be an appropriate choice for erosion controls. Another special condition would be to hold a pre-construction meeting before the project commences. I believe the planning board also is requiring a pre-construction meeting for that project.
Yes.
So
Is that true? Have
Yes.
they contacted you?
Yeah, the planning board signed their decision last night, and I have the decision. Part of that 9-page decision is a pre-construction meeting.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, once we have that, then we'll go ahead and make any additional comments and then vote on it and give it to you.
Once you have what?
What?
What are you waiting for at this point?
I guess we'd like to read what their conditions are as a commission.
Oh, okay.
And then vote on them and put them in place, and yeah, vote positive, you know, you can pick them up the next day, but it would be the May meeting. Is that okay?
Oh, I thought we're actually scheduled to close in May.
Okay. When in
Yeah,
May?
Like I said, I thought we were really well done last meeting. And I didn't realize you had to review the planning board's decision.
Did you read the planning boards?
I haven't. As part of their decision, was there any new information that was introduced?
No.
So, what was the latest revision date for the plan?
Latest revision date of the plan, I'll get it for you. Hang on a minute. Bear with me just a moment.
Sure.
Is this the property at the end of Hunter? Intersects Hunter and goes down like, okay. I believe we continued this because Caitlin wasn't on board yet.
Right,
We wanted her to
right.
look at it and so could make a better decision.
Yes.
Okay, let's see, planning board. What the spec date modified. February 24th was the last version of the plan. But hang on, let me bring it up because that's when I actually, revised February 22nd was the last plan to the planning board. And then I think GLM updated it for you as well. And so you're under conservation. 'Cause I guess they're slightly different, and the planning board has one more page than yours. Other than that, I can't tell the difference. Let me get the date on that as well. So the most recent one that they gave to you. Actually, hang on a second. Zoom in on this.
While he's looking for that latest plan, which I believe is the plan that I had reviewed,
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
March 2nd is the most recent one planned for you guys.
Yeah, so I believe that was the plan that I was working off of when I created these proposed special conditions. So back to the pre-construction meeting, I had figured that it could be held in conjunction with the planning board's pre-construction meeting. There were a couple things that I would like to see for that.
Go ahead, why don't you tell him so he's aware of them?
Sure. So for the pre-construction meeting, having some of the project components staked out by a surveyor, those being the limit of work and also the retaining wall siting.
Actually, they were staked out last fall. See, we actually went through this like last August.
Have you been out
And then
to
we
the
put it on
site?
hold because we had to go through the planning board. But they haven't staked out. Have you been to the property?
I haven't, no.
Okay, yeah, all of that was staked out. The wall's been staked out, the limit of work has been staked out. If you'd like, I could meet you out there sometime. We could go over that.
I mean, if that's the case, then, I would just recommend that, those stakes are still there before the pre-construction meeting occurs. And then I can just view them then.
Okay, I'll verify that everything's still in place before we set up the meeting.
Sure. And then lastly, so the plans indicate that the retaining wall is going to be designed by a structural engineer.
That's
and
correct.
I just recommend that the commission request to get those plans at least a week before the pre-construction meeting, so those can be reviewed.
Okay.
Okay,
So, so it's up to the planning board to set up the meeting? Pre-construction meeting? Are they
I
taking
can-
the lead, or?
I'll take the lead on that
Okay.
and coordinate. I mean, if you're not available at the same time, then I'll just meet you both at different times. But if we can get everybody together, we will.
Yeah. Okay,
That would definitely make the most sense.
okay.
Yeah, but I'll take the lead on it because I'll verify that, I have the wall plan in front of me, and I've gone over there and taken a walk and make sure all the stakes are still there.
Okay,
And I'll do all that before we meet.
okay, yeah, and just contact the office, and Caitlin, and you can set up a date to visit it, walk it.
You bet.
And did you have any objections to using an 18-inch diameter silt sock?
I didn't know they made them that big, but
They do, yes.
That is a big one.
That's
yeah,
quite a drop. That's
is.
like you fall, you're going to the bottom. It's, so I
Yeah.
thought we had discussed this in our last meeting, a silt sock and a retaining fence.
Yeah,
Yes.
the plan, I think, as it was drawn, does have a silt sock fence, but we can increase it to 18 inches. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no diameter on the plan itself,
Oh,
so I just
Okay,
thought
we'll make
that.
sure it's 18 each. Yeah, if you want to just put that as a condition, I'll make sure it's 18 inches.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, the only saving grace with the amount of material coming in is that the material is going to be coming in behind the wall as it's built, in layers. So, so we'll have the wall itself to catch the material as well. But still, I understand your concern.
Okay.
And that was it as far as recommendations for that project.
Okay. Yeah, you guys people can coordinate, and then we'll put you on for next month right at 7:05 and get it done.
Okay, what's the date on that? That's,
May 11th,
May 11th, okay.
okay?
All right, so, I'll probably have the structural plan by then. I've already, well, actually, I ordered it a while ago. I had a preliminary design, and then I hired a structural engineer. So, that's already in process.
Okay. Good. Yeah, we'd like to move this along with this, so
Okay,
we appreciate it.
And so you want to continue to May
Yes.
for what reason?
Well, I guess anything that comes up in the pre-production or pre-construction meeting, or we can close it now if that's...
Yeah, so typically you would close, vote to issue
with
an
the
order of
condition.
conditions with the special conditions
Okay.
that I just talked about. And then we would either hand deliver if they want to come pick up the order or mail it out. And then at that point, they would reach out to
Okay.
both planning board and conservation to set up that pre-construction meeting.
Okay.
yeah,
So if it,
All
if
right.
you wanted to,
We
I
close it, we
believe-
could?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
you have all the information you need to close.
All right. First, I'll entertain a motion to open the hearing on 12124 MacArthur Avenue.
Al Finney, so moved.
Fellstone, second.
And we have discussed it prematurely, but I think everybody knows what's going to go on now, so I'll take a motion to close this hearing and issue...
We got to
order of
vote on the
conditions.
first motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, formality. Sorry.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now that we've discussed it all, and we can close the hearing and issue the order of conditions with Caitlin's recommendations. So I'll entertain that motion.
Again, Al Finney, so moved.
Maggie Crow, second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, passes. So you're good to go. Probably pick up the paperwork when?
We can reach out to you when that's ready, if you wanted to pick it up. If not, we could just put that in the mail to the applicant.
well, I am the applicant, but I prefer to pick it up if you
Okay.
could let me know when it's ready.
Sure, we can reach out to you when that's ready.
Okay,
When do you think that might be?
I'm not sure we'd have that for tomorrow, and then we are not in on Monday, so probably Tuesday.
oh, okay, oh, that's wonderful.
Good.
Terrific.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, next is the MCI Norfolk 2 Clark Street determination of applicability. What say you? That's the oil spill?
Yes, I did have a couple questions.
This one too. Do we have to open this one too?
Yes. Good, go ahead, Mag.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm on a sync a little bit, so.
This is Maggie Crow. Can we motion to open the 710 MCI Norfolk to second
To Clark
to
Street.
Clark Street?
Is there a second to that?
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's open. MCI Norfolk 2 Clark Street.
Would you be able to bring up the figure? That's okay. So she's gonna bring up the figure showing the locations of the injection sites that they plan to use. So I don't know if anyone.
That's a charcoal
Yes.
stuff that they're putting in.
Yes. So from what I understand, they will be mixing water with the charcoal substance into a slurry on the site, and then they will be injecting that into, I think it was 8 or 9 different injection sites. In total, about 5,000 gallons over the course of 5 days. And they would be injecting that at a depth, I think on average 4 to 7 feet down into the groundwater for the purpose of remediating the groundwater, which is contaminated with, I can't think of the contaminant off the top of my head, but it's from a former fuel number 2 oil spill. I'm not sure if there's anyone here representing MCI.
No, Andrew is normally the person.
Okay. I did have a couple of questions.
And that's a system that they've used before for cleanup.
Yeah. They, in the application and some of the procedural documents, they talked about preventing possible daylighting, which I assume would be when the slurry actually would come out of the injection site. And I didn't see any...
Oh, they take it out? They remove it?
No, so it's when the flow rate of the slurry is too high.
Oh.
And so instead of just going into the water table, it actually comes back out of the boring hole. And I didn't see any plan in place in case that happens. And I also didn't see anything about dewatering, whether or not it was expected to happen. They do intend to drill into groundwater. So that's a potential cause for concern. I think the closest injection site's roughly on the 50-foot line from the BVW.
Will you be contacting them and getting your questions answered? Or?
Yeah, I was hoping to get some of them answered tonight.
Yeah.
So I can reach out and get those questions answered. And then if they do have those plans in place, I don't see why a negative determination couldn't be issued with some conditions, but I would definitely want to confirm with them that they have plans in place for potential incidents like that.
Sure. All right, why don't we continue it until May 11th at 7:05, and we'll have you contact them and get your questions answered. So I'll entertain that motion.
Excuse me, Commissioners. This is Scott Boodler with EnviroTrack. I just got let into the meeting, and I understand you wish to continue. Are there any questions I might be able to answer that
And
may
you're
help you?
an engineer consultant for the MCI?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working for the LSP for this project.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so I did have some questions. One was about potential daylighting that might occur. And I was wondering if there is a plan in place in case that does in fact happen.
Well, it's hard to daylight at a site like this without knowing you're close, because we have a lot of monitoring wells in place. So while you're doing the injection, you basically measure the depth to water. And when you do an injection like this, typically you will see the water table come up a bit. And when you get about a foot below ground, then you dramatically slow the pumping rate or even stop and hold and then see what the water level does. So while we're doing the injection, we actually are gauging wells that are right near where we're doing the injection, so that we know well in advance of a potential for daylighting. And we also are injecting at low pressure, which tends to avoid the daylighting situation, because you raise an excellent point. It's a concern, but the basic injection plan is designed to minimize that, which is why we're using 18 points instead of, say, 9 points, because by distributing it over 18 points, no point is getting a particularly large volume of oxidant, which dramatically minimizes the possibility of daylighting.
Okay, and then I was also wondering if any dewatering might be expected during these procedures? None?
None at all. That's part of the reason we chose this technology, is because if we were to try to do something like soil excavation, we would need to dewater. For this technology, we do not have to dewater at all, so therefore we won't be bringing any contaminated groundwater up to the surface at all.
Okay, that's good to know. So really, those were my only two areas of concern. So with that, I did come up with a couple conditions that you might consider. One, the mixing tanks should be stored and used outside of the 100-foot buffer zone when they are used to make the slurry. Scott, I don't know if that's feasible.
Yeah, that's not a problem. We have room.
Okay, and then secondly, there was mention of excess soil being stored in 55-gallon drums. So they plan to backfill the boring holes, but there might be excess.
We're not putting anything in 55-gallon drums. The vac is a self-contained unit. We vac out the soil to make sure there's nothing we're going to hit when we drill the well. But before we actually drill the well, we put the soil right back in the hole.
Okay. I think
so we're not storing anything. We're basically just vacuuming out a hole to be able to actually physically look down the hole and make sure there's not an unexpected utility or piece of building infrastructure that we would hit. Once we've gotten to our 5-foot depth where we're likely below the utilities, then we just basically empty the vacuum cleaner right back into the ground, then advance our injection tooling down to the starting at 7-foot depth, and then bring it slowly up through the zone we intend to treat.
Okay. So based on that information, I think that a negative determination would be appropriate, with the condition that the mixing tanks be stored and utilized outside of the 100-foot buffer zone.
So we could close this and vote on and issuing the orders of conditions.
It would be a negative determination.
That's all we have to vote on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Any other input, Scott?
No, I think you asked excellent questions. Hope I've answered everything, and would appreciate it if you could close the hearing, because we, based on the last hearing, we're operating under the assumption that we'd be trying to do this work in late April.
Okay.
And have ordered the Petro fix and are planning to have it delivered and get the work done in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. With that being said, I'll take a motion to close this hearing on MCI Norfolk to Clark Street.
Adam Zucker, so moved.
Second.
Maggie Crow, second.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. If you could let us know, Scott, when you're doing that, I would be interested in coming out and watching the process.
Oh, absolutely.
It's something new that we don't come across much, so yeah, it'd be educational for us.
Absolutely. Would you like me to contact you through via Elaine, or?
Yes, yeah, and she can notify the members, and yeah, if it's possible, you know, whoever can go out, will go out and
Yeah, and it'll
just
be
watch
over
it. I
several
mean,
days.
for
so
educational
if the-
purposes.
We'll be doing the work over several days, so if there's, you can't
Sure.
make it on Tuesday, you could come out on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Appreciate your
You're
time.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, the next hearing is 262 Dedham Street. I would accept a motion to open that hearing.
Val Stone, so moved.
Second?
Maggie Crow, second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, it's open. Is anybody here from 262? Okay.
Yes, Rich Riccio from
Oh.
Field Engineering
Great.
on behalf of the
Yeah.
applicant.
Yep, go ahead.
Am I able to share a video, my presentation plan to the board, or
Yep, I'm gonna make.
I know Elaine had mentioned she could make that possible.
Right, I'll make you a co-host now, okay? All right?
Okay. Can everybody see the
Yep.
Yeah.
plan I've shown on the screen?
Can you blow it up a little bit? Enlarge
I
it?
can try. We'll focus on the front
Yeah,
where
yeah.
where the wetland and work
Yep.
buffer zone work is. This is the location at 262 Dedham Street on the corner of Dedham Street and Shire Drive where Crowley's Power Equipment currently is located. The proposal is to tear down their existing buildings and construct a new 27,000 square foot building to house a state-of-the-art shooting range and gun retail shop, membership lounge facility on the project, on the parcel. We did go through planning board, and the planning board voted to approve the project last night following peer review by the Beta Group on all the stormwater management features and the site plan features itself.
Did you get a copy?
Basically, what we've got is we do have a wetland system across Dedham Street
Yep,
that extends a buffer zone onto the property, as shown in the yellow lines. We have no work within 50 feet of the wetland system, and we are proposing some pavement within the 50 to 100 foot line, which is currently existing lawn area. As I mentioned, we did go through a rigorous review of the stormwater management features on this site with the Beta Group as part of their peer review of the project. The project itself, the site will be totally encircled with straw wattles and silt fence for erosion control measures. We're also proposing stone construction pad entrances and to protect any stormwater management structures in the street throughout construction. Given the limited nature of the work within the buffer zone, we felt that a negative determination would be applicable for the project, as it would not result in any impacts to the resource area.
okay. Caitlin, your comments?
So I do agree with their sentiment that an RDA is appropriate here, considering the buffer zone is on the other side of Dedham Street is already developed land consisting of maintained lawn areas and I believe some gravel within that.
Yes.
Within that area, and then is also separated by Dedham Street. There are no connections from 262 Dedham Street to the wetland itself. There's no culverts or any drainage that flows into the wetland.
Okay. Questions, comments from the commission?
Do they have any, the membership sign up? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm familiar with the area, and like, I believe across the street's already established for drainage, like you
Yeah.
said. And I don't think there is any drainage connecting. It's coming down Shire, I believe.
Yeah, there were a couple catch basins that are actually proposed to be removed. They likely flowed into, not into the wetlands, but into utilities under Dedham Street. But those are going to be
I could
removed.
quickly just go over, if you'd like, the stormwater management, just to,
Okay.
you are correct, it does not tie into the drainage. Let me, I'm gonna stop this share and start again so I can bring up a different screen here. Can you see my site plan now?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna scroll to the grading and drainage plan, which is here, and I'll blow it up so we can focus on the area that we're talking about. In current conditions, the vast majority of this site flows to an existing catch basin in the grassed area, where my cursor is, at the corner, right at the corner of Shire and Dedham, which then flows across the street and discharges basically across the street on that site where the liquor warehouse is. The rest of the stormwater from the site flows into to the Shire Drive drainage system, which once again is separate from the wetlands and discharges in the same vicinity, general vicinity as the road, has the other drain line that I'm talking about. These manholes here within the Shire Drive layout are a water quality structure that's treating the runoff that's coming from Shire Drive. And then our on-site stormwater management system will treat our proposed impervious surfaces to stormwater management standards prior to overtopping into this area and maintaining the same drainage flow path from the site. We are reducing the rates of runoff coming off the site significantly from pre to post development. And as I had mentioned, that has all been reviewed by your town's consultant.
Okay. Will the building have gutters on it?
Yes, the building will have a gutter system to downspouts to a large recharge system located in front of the building.
Oh, okay.
Basically in this area here. And then the paved parking will go through a treatment structure within the subsurface recharge system here, and then there's another large system here. So basically putting all the water back into the ground on the site.
Okay.
And taking advantage of the soils on the property. We've done upwards of 15 to 20 test pits on the property and borings to confirm suitable material and separation to groundwater and such for the design of the system. We'll also be removing the existing septic system, which is in close proximity to the 100-foot buffer zone in this area here, and relocating it back further up the hill along Shire Drive, which will also result in an improvement to the groundwater that does feed that wetland system across the street.
Okay.
What is in the corner of Shire and Needham there? Is that a retention area right there?
Isn't there?
This is going to be a riprap little sump area where the water will discharge into and then get into the catch basin drain that's not being touched by this project, okay, which is in the layout.
Sounds reasonable. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
So when reviewing the application, there was one issue that I noted. So the RDA requested that the commission make a determination of whether or not the work was subject to review under the local bylaw, but did not request whether or not the work was subject to review under the State Wetlands Protection Act.
Aren't we more conservative than they are?
Yes. And in this case, it's just the only wetland resource area is bordering vegetated wetland.
Yeah.
So the project should be revised to request that, as well as the local bylaw.
So the box C should have been checked off
Yes.
on the determination, as well as box D on the request. I could do that right now and get it to you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the only issue there is that the legal ad that was placed in the paper specifically stated that this was only a request for determination under the local bylaw. So in order, it's not as easy as just filling out that form. We'd have to place an ad in the paper under the open meeting law. So I think, you could go ahead and issue what would be a -6 determination, but then you would have to refile another RDA, or you could potentially keep the hearing open, get us the revised RDA form, and then we could replace the legal ad, and then close and issue on the 11th, May 11th.
That's probably the cleanest way to do it.
Yeah.
We would request a continuance to submit the revised front sheet, and then you can do it all as one motion at the May 11th to issue the -3 under the state and the -6, I believe, under the wetland, under the local ordinance.
Yes, that would be correct.
I think that's probably the smartest, the cleanest way to do it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
I have
go
no
along
problem
with
with
it.
that.
You're agreeable, we're agreeable.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. We're not ready to put a shovel in the ground yet.
Okay.
So we've got a little bit of time to get this done, and I think we have the understanding of where the commission stands on this, so gives us a comfort level moving forward.
Okay.
But yeah, we can request a continuance if you need something in writing. Caitlin and Elaine, I can send something. I know sometimes they have to sign a form or whatnot, but I have no problem with that.
All right, we'll continue it till next month at 7:10.
Sounds good. And I will get the revised sheet to you, to the office, and then we can get the legal ad in with the proper language.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
So.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, I'll take a motion to continue 262 Dedham Street until May 11th at 7:10.
Adam Zucker, so moved.
Valstone, second.
Any other comments or questions? Audience? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes.
Hey, thank you all. Have a good evening.
Oh, thank you.
You.
Brian Costino?
So I don't believe he's going to be coming in tonight.
Yeah.
So I met with him on April 7th to discuss the project. And what he's trying to do is remove a damaged and leaning tree. It's a white pine. It's pretty clear that it's going to fall at some point. And the way that he wants to take it down is just to have someone go in with a chainsaw and just drop it. There is another tree within the drop zone that would also have to come down. It's also a white pine, a smaller diameter. The tree that's leaning,
Now, this is in wetlands or way?
it's in the buffer zone.
It's in the buffer zone, okay.
The tree that's leaning is roughly just outside of the 50-foot, but the tree that's in the drop zone is closer to the wetlands.
Okay.
So I advised him and I gave him an RDA form to fill out.
Didn't they take one of them down already because they thought it was going to fall?
No, he was advised not to
Okay.
by Rich McCarthy.
Yeah, until you met with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he intending to remove the tree or just drop it and leave it?
That's information that I've mentioned to include in the RDA. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is on that,
Yeah, you
but
probably want to remove it, I would think.
I would think we'd want it.
yeah. But we can discuss that when the RDA comes in. I believe he's intending to get on the May 11th meeting.
Okay. All right.
Depends on what other damage Dave he might have to do by removing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Walking through and trampling stuff, and it might
Yep.
not be feasible.
Yep. Okay, I will accept a motion to, what is it, a continuation? Yeah. Yeah, to continue 16 Day Street.
Alfini, so moved.
Oh, no, that was 31.
31 Stop River.
Road.
Yep,
Oh,
31
I'm
Stop River.
sorry. Oh, yeah,
31 Stop
31,
River.
yep, I'm sorry. 31 Stop River Road. So for May 11th at 7:10, we said? 7:15.
7:15.
Yep.
So moved, Alfini.
Maggie Crow, second.
Any other questions, comments? Then we'll take the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. So 7:15 on the 11th. Okay, 16 Day Street.
Someone here?
Hi.
Dan, you can take the mic.
Dan Ferris, 16 Day Street. I also brought some papers that might help us reference. I just did
Okay,
some
is
highlighting.
it the ones that she has, or?
It may be, yeah, so it's up to you if you want to have these just for ease of reference. Thank you.
Take one, pass them along.
It's like school.
I'm gonna put my cheat folder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this design is actually the general contractor sketch versus this is the engineer plot of the
Oh, okay.
property plot plan, just for us to ease of reference.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Name and,
oh yes, sir, Dan Ferris, 16 Day Street.
okay.
All right, so the quick background of the genesis of the project. Last spring, we started the process of installing a pool. As part of the staffing process, it was identified that the Board of Health wanted the septic system adjusted. So we had that adjusted and then requested the building permit and received that in July, and it was reviewed. All discussions during the staffing of both the septic system and the pool building permit was always that this was just wetlands and that we were outside of the 100-foot buffer zone.
Okay.
So there was never any malicious intent. Like, we were always operating on good faith. I just want to let
Sure.
everyone know we're not trying to do anything shady here.
Yeah.
So we put the pool in, got it in late August last year, and then we spent the winter working with MF Landscaping designing the pool patio, which you see both up here and then in the sketch. And so it was an iterative process, and going through the process, ultimately, if you look up here on the TV, what we ended up settling on based off the setbacks from the property line
Yes.
was that we would have a 12 by 10 foot Reed's Ferry shed, which was technically under the requirement for a building permit, but we're going to have a covered area that will share a roof that's going to be 16 by 12, so that when I spoke with the building commissioner, he said, okay, we need to do a permit.
Yeah.
So as part of submitting the permit, this obviously gets staffed through conservation like it should, and that's when I met Caitlin last Thursday. My understanding is that according to the U.S. topographical map, the stream that runs inside the wetlands in our property is considered a perennial stream. I know it's actually not because it's dry about 4 to 5 months of the year, but that was the River Protection Act and the 200-foot buffer zone was unknown to me prior to this, because all previous interactions with the previous conservation agent, there was never any discussion that that was a perennial stream or any of the pieces. So if it's helpful, I can describe what we're trying to do.
Please.
So I can step over. So
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, perfect. So as we're looking at it here, essentially we're using colonial fence to put a fence around the pool. You can see the orange line on the handouts I provided. So the fence runs into the corner of the shed, and then it stops and it picks up again at so north is down on this TV, just for reference. It starts on the east side and then continues back around, and then just inside the property line on the south side of the pool, it runs back along and then cuts at a 90-degree and then ties back into the house. So that would be an aluminum fence in accordance with all the town requirements for the height and all those different pieces. So that's one piece of it. The second part is what we're looking to do is there'll be so the pool is obviously the first rectangle. The coping of the patio is that second very, very thin border. And then the rest of the area inside here is pavers. And so and then we have an existing patio that the previous owner or someone else built that is ineffective and causes flooding into parts of our house and a lot of other issues.
Good.
So, and also from an aesthetics perspective, we're trying to make it all one piece. So this will be replaced with pavers as well that match this area here. The one piece, it's not really depicted on what I handed out, but the area underneath the covered eating area will also be the pavers here. The way it'll be constructed is there'll be a 10 to 11 inch base with the first about 10 inches being 3/4 inch crushed stone, all permeable, and then about a 3/8 inch topping on that piece on there, and on the sand, yes, and then the electrical grid, the matting will go on, and the pavers will go on top of that.
Electrical grid.
I'm sorry, my poor use of words, layman's terms. The mat for the grounding of the pool will go on top of that, and then the pavers go on top of that. But all permeable materials underneath the pavers. This is just a little stone walkway to connect the two through the gate. And then anywhere that's outside of the highlighted areas on your sketch will all be grass.
Okay.
So that's and then we're putting in, of course I'm blanking on it, some shrubbery in the front with some daylilies to provide screening to the street. And then we're gonna match that in front of the house also.
Sure.
That's the big picture scheme of it. In conversations with Caitlin, one of the concerns and we'd already kind of planned on this, but it just reinforced it. We already have silt fencing up. That we put up since Monday and in the discussion that we had. It actually starts along the edge of the wood line that's over here. I'm sorry, I have to jump back. We are planning on building a fireplace on the backside. I forgot to mention that. I just don't want to.
And pavers around that?
No, it'll be just off the pavers. It'll be built separately.
I see.
That's
Okay.
all in place. So there's a wood line right here. And so right now we have silt fencing from right about here coming down all on the back of the property line past. It actually wraps around our swing set and then ties into the house right here in the corner.
Okay.
So that was one of the risk mitigation control measures that we wanted to put in place. And then I currently have all the pavers sitting right here in my yard because prior to this, we didn't think that a permit or staffing was required because we thought we were outside the wetlands protection area buffer zone. And so we were just moving forward with putting the patio down.
Yep.
And then what am I forgetting here? The silt fencing is up. I understand based off the topographical map and the that there might be some type of paperwork requirement to catch up and get things, make sure that everything is captured of what we're going to do. My biggest piece selfishly is we had everything designed. We were moving forward. We were planning a birthday party for my daughter on May 7th here, and so I would like to move forward. So in conversation with Caitlin, and not putting her on the spot, I told her I was going to say this. I asked her on Monday, hey, I don't see any adverse impacts to the environment from what we're doing, and I'll let her speak for herself, but my understanding was she agreed. I'm okay with doing whatever's required paperwork-wise. I just want to be able to keep moving forward with the patio. So that's my ask.
Okay.
Here. And I'll stop talking.
Okay, that's all right. I want to compliment you on your presentation. It was excellent for a resident to go into that depth and know everything. You do know this plan. And
Really
we
working for the
appreciate
birthday
that.
party.
My question would be. in
Yeah,
reference to that-
we're invited to the birthday party.
No, I'm just kidding.
In reference to that, where is the perennial stream?
The perennial
Located.
stream is actually located, this is my understanding of the wetland line.
Yeah.
It runs, no, obviously, I'm not going to perfectly
No,
get it
just-
right,
I'm just
but it
looking
runs
for-
roughly along here and then comes up and then goes under the road and then continues past my
So
neighbor's.
far away from the,
It's my house is closer to the stream than the pool is, yes.
okay.
And
Okay.
and the driveway and all that stuff. But,
Thank
yeah.
you. Caitlin?
Yeah, so as Mr. Ferris was saying, we met on site on the 11th, and I was able to confirm that no vegetation clearing will take place as part of this project. There's actually a stone wall that runs along the property boundary, and all the vegetation is beyond that. So currently, the area where work is taking place was maintained lawn area. So under the State Wetlands Protection Act, this would be considered a minor activity and would be exempt from filing under 310 CMR 10.02 2B 2E, which states that accessory structures such as pools, patios, are allowable within lawn area as long as they're greater than 50 feet away from the mean annual high water line. As far as the interests of the bylaw, it is my opinion that the proposed work won't adversely impact the wetlands or stream that's there, considering the use of erosion controls, and generally the site is pretty flat, so there really isn't much risk of sedimentation.
Okay. So do we have to issue an order of conditions, or?
So, the commission can consider just allowing this work to continue without further review.
Remove this cease and desist order?
And remove the cease and desist.
Okay, without any other permitting, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, under the state regulations, it would be an exempt minor activity. So we're just talking about the bylaw here. But
It really doesn't violate that.
with the erosion controls in place, and it is my opinion that the wetland resource areas wouldn't be adversely impacted.
Okay. So I'll accept a motion for 16 Day Street to cease and desist. Not assist, right?
Cease and desist. Cease and desist. To remove it.
For 16 Day Street and allow the project to continue without any other permitting from us.
Cake and ice cream.
I'll double the order.
I make a motion.
him, 3.
Make a motion, so moved.
Second?
Valstone, I second.
Any other comments, questions? Anybody in the audience? No? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It passes.
See May 11th.
No,
Give them the wrong time.
That's right. No, thank you very much, and thank you to Caitlin. She did an excellent job helping me understand
Yeah.
what the issues were, so thank you.
And, I
Yeah,
mean,
thanks for your
yeah, and
patience.
I know our former agent had approved this, didn't she?
The former agent had approved the pool. We didn't have the patio
Yeah.
design yet.
Yeah.
And so we worked over that over the winter.
Yeah.
So that's where I think,
Okay.
that's where we got surprised. I didn't mean to surprise anyone.
Yeah. That's a good, no, good. And, yeah, we don't want you to be upset with us. We try to work with everybody, and, yeah, every agent has a different view of things, but yeah, she didn't have that information at that time. So this was a safe way to approach it, and you're good to go.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May 11th at what time? 3?
May 7th.
May 7th?
May 7th. See, I tried to get you
Now we
off
don't
the
know
track.
which one it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is 11 Penacook Street, 240-0633. Amend order of conditions. Do we make motion on this, or
Yes.
to open it? Or to approve the amended order?
To issue an amended order.
Okay. What's this all about?
So they want to move the single-family home back. It was originally,
Is this the plan?
yes, this is the plan.
Can you, yeah, how much can you blow it up? Is anybody here from Day Street? Okay.
This is
Penacook.
Penacook? Okay.
So I believe the originally approved plan, the rear portion of the house was roughly 29 feet away
From what?
from the 50-foot no-touch.
Okay.
The amended plan, or revised plan, it's now 21 feet away from the 50-foot no-touch. The limit of work for the entire project remains the same. So it's really just that house. It is just pushed back a little bit farther.
Wow. Okay, so really doesn't affect anything with us?
Just that it's closer.
That's closer.
Yeah, and reviewing the plans and GIS, I don't see why pushing it back 8 feet would harm the wetland resource areas.
You know, they're putting up socks or something during the construction or movement?
Yes, so
Is that in the right, top right?
I'm
The dark
actually,
It
spot?
looks like a stone wall.
Or is
Yeah,
it?
it's a silt. It's a
A
silt.
silt fence.
so it looks, yeah, like a
Silt
silt
This is
fence.
silt berry.
Okay. Yep.
And, okay, so they are going to put it
Yeah, so
all
the-
around the house?
The detail below showed a silt fence and silt sock. So all the original conditions would remain in place. The only thing that changed was the location of the house.
And how would we amend this order?
So you would vote to issue the amended order of conditions.
Which are?
So it's just a new Form 5. The expiration date stays the same.
Oh, I see, okay.
The
Which is when? Offhand?
October 14th, 2023.
Oh, okay.
October 2023.
Over a year, okay. All right then, let's take a vote on this. 11 Penacook, 240-0633, amended order of conditions.
And
Adam Zucker moves to amend the order of conditions for 11 Penacook Street.
Okay, second.
Maggie Crowe, second.
Okay, any further discussion? Anybody in the audience? Okay, we'll take the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes.
And we have the signature page here, if you want to just sign that now.
Yeah, just, we'll sign it at the end of the meeting if we
Okay.
could. 97 Medway Street. 222?
Yes, so this issue came up. The property owner is in the process of selling his home, and the title review and old order of conditions came up from, I think it was 1997, late 90s. And so I believe at the last meeting, well, anyways, he was advised to submit a request for a COC for the project. He did get us an as-built survey, a survey plan, and I went out there on April 7th and confirmed the existing conditions. The one major difference was a deck was added on the rear portion of the house. it's a second-story deck, and there is no foundation pad underneath that. The deck is located within ELSF, but since there is no pad under that, it's my opinion that that it doesn't adversely affect the flood zone there.
Okay.
And
they got the permit to put up the deck, correct? So if that happened, we should have seen that application or permit and somebody signed off on it?
I think it was likely added when the home was constructed,
Ah, okay.
just based on the age of it.
Okay.
So it's just got footings for the posts?
So, yeah,
And
the
that's
post,
it, no pad?
no pad.
Okay. All right, then let's have a motion for 97 Medway Street, 240-222, for certificate of release. Maggie.
Okay. This is Maggie. I motion for 97 Medway Street, 240-222 for a certificate of release.
Thank you.
Al Finney seconded.
Yeah, thank you. Any other discussion? Comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It passes. License agreement for wastewater treatment facility. So you can speak, but you can't vote.
I don't know what this is all about.
Oh, is that right?
I do not.
What is this about?
This is something that needs to be signed. I believe it's an extension.
From who?
Waste-
From the planning board.
But
So it comes from.
who's the applicant? So it's a town wastewater treatment?
It's an agreement between the select board and the Conservation Commission.
This is for the land over at the school, for the
Fremont? Is that what it is?
Freeman,
Freeman?
Oh, for the
Soccer
the
piping?
field.
septic for
and
the
the
leach
leaching.
field?
Leach.
Is that what this is for?
Yes, they're seeking permission to install a wastewater treatment facility underneath the property to serve the Norfolk Town Center Sewer District. So yes, this is the field.
Where's Rich tonight?
He's at home watching.
You decided to come in and talk about this? 'Cause-
No. Rich, do you have any comments? You can call me
Yeah.
or be on Zoom. He said he was going to watch it from home.
That's all I can think of, is it's the leach field area that,
Yeah, and that's
Yes.
where we're trading land.
and I couldn't remember how we left that with Amproto. What, did we approved it, I thought, but. was
Yes.
she was
And
supposed
they
to-
wanted, yeah, and we're going to adjust some land. Let them use, yeah, you'd have to take down a certain amount of trees in order for this to work.
Yep.
And then they can use them for soccer fields, and then recreation would have to give us something.
Does this mean that they can use it for a leach field, or is this them?
Yes.
They gotta explore it first.
Yeah, they've got to perk
Okay.
it, but the plan is yeah, to pipe it
Yeah.
from the town center out there, because it's the biggest town-owned area that could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the school has said okay. Do we have anything from the school?
No,
I haven't heard the school mentioned at all.
I don't think the school has any say, because it's town land,
Yeah.
Oh,
I think. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
Dave, but I believe it's
this
owned by.
is just between the Conservation Commission
Conservation.
and the select board.
oh. What are they going to give us?
Well, that's why I can't remember. I thought
Yeah.
when we discussed this, that we were gonna actually keep the land and just let them use it. I thought, but I could be wrong. We'll have to check the meeting.
Didn't we discuss mitigating measures
Yeah.
they would take too? Like they would,
We're
Swap.
gonna plant.
swap and plant it?
Yes, yes. Jim was well versed on that, and Jim's not here tonight.
No, he's probably watching.
Yes,
So
but-
Jim, if you're watching, you can
Yeah.
comment. Huh?
Purchase. Rich must have heard you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Rich. How you doing?
Oh, where's your picture?
It's connecting the audio.
Rich, are you there?
It says
Oh, this
connecting.
keeps connecting.
Hi. Good evening. You're up.
Hang on.
Almost there.
You're muted.
You're muted, Rich.
Hi there.
Yeah, okay. We're in business. Oh, large. You're the whole screen.
So the plan, just to recap, was the license agreement between the Conservation Commission and the Select Board to go test the conservation property for potential to put the leach field, so if the wastewater treatment plant was to come to fruition. And it's where we actually did a couple perk tests today. It actually coincides with the area where Ann's talking about,
Yep.
where you approve the, for the soccer field, excuse me.
But it stays under our control?
The difference between what we potentially might do is that if it's a wastewater treatment plant, it would have to go through a swap.
Yeah, we wouldn't want
It's
it.
the 3-to-1 ratio.
You don't have clean wastewater?
We wouldn't want it if they're gonna put.
Okay.
In the minutes, we talked about a 3-to-1 ratio swap
Yeah.
of land.
Do you know what land
Yeah,
you'd like to
that's correct.
swap for?
We would have to have other open space land that the commission would have to evaluate, discern was acceptable for the swap.
Okay.
And it would be, as Maggie had mentioned, it would be a 3-to-1 ratio. So the thought being that we would do the testing, see if it's even viable before going down that road.
Okay.
In terms of the wastewater, so.
So you're
like
just
I
looking
said-
for permission to perk it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then depending upon, so the area that we did right now actually coincides with where Ann wants to put the soccer field. So you can take a look and see if we want to have it, replanted or leave it the way it is and just let it naturalize if this doesn't go forward. So,
Okay.
but that's part of the license agreement.
Yeah, I think what we would do is, you perk it, and then, once it's tested and approved or disapproved, bring it back to natural state.
Okay. And the perks were pretty favorable, just to let you know in terms of today. The next step would be to bring out the drill rig on the track. They have on the track system, which we did last year, to drill down and find where the bedrock is. That would be the next step to see whether or not it would work or not.
When would that be performed?
It's going to be probably within the next month or two, somewhere around there. It wasn't as time sensitive in terms of the high groundwater that we wanted to do that in April for the perk testing.
Yeah.
But so that one's.
But you have to do
not
it
as-
before what, May 5th? Is there a?
As soon as we sign the license agreement, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did.
At least they
I think
asked for a
technically, if I go back in a minute, I think
not
you
like-
did vote it. It just went to the select board and it's coming
Yeah.
back to you for signature.
Okay.
So you,
that's all it is.
I did. I'm trying to think what it was. I think I got your blessing at the March meeting.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah, it was approved.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was about. That's all we were looking for, Rich. We weren't sure
Okay.
what it was all about.
So
Okay.
it's been approved,
All right.
license agreement. I think, if we just have to sign the papers, we'll do that tonight.
All right. Perfect.
Okay.
If there's any questions, I'll go watch. I'll leave you and watch you on NCTV.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Yep. Yep. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, 97 Myrtle Street, 240-501, extending the permit of orders of condition. Is anybody here from Myrtle Street? Or watching us?
I mean, I live on Myrtle Street, but
Okay, what is the order of conditions?
97 Myrtle.
Do you know?
For 97 Myrtle, do you have the? Oh yeah, this is Myrtle Street.
There's no reason not to extend it, is there?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think we were able to find the approved plan. Oh, is this that? Oh, okay. Yeah, we weren't able to find the electronic file for that. But yeah, I don't have any objections to extending this for 3 years.
Okay,
That's what I was curious how long.
all right. I'll entertain a motion, as Caitlin said, for a 3-year extension to 240-501 on 97 Myrtle Street.
Al Finney, I make the motion to extend the permit for order of conditions for Myrtle Street, 240-501. For
Second?
3 years.
Okay, second?
Adam Zucker, second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. "15 Fruit Street, 24606, the same thing. Is anybody in the audience familiar with that property? Okay. Anybody online for that property? Okay. No reason to not give them a 3-year extension?
Correct.
Okay. Take a motion for that?
Al Finney, so moved.
Second?
Maggie Crowe, second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. Okay, 2 Old Pond Street, certificate of compliance to be re-signed, applicant lost original. We have it, we voted on it, we just have to sign the papers?
Yes, we have those for you to sign after.
Okay, so there's nothing to do with that.
Nope, it's just a duplicate copy.
Okay. That will be done at the end of this meeting. Okay, minutes of March 9th. Everybody had a chance to read them? Yeah? Any questions,
Don't look at me.
comments? No.
I have them open. I'm
There was
referring to
just
them.
one slight typo, I believe, right?
There was a typo.
What was that?
Elaine's going to take care of that.
There's no typo.
No typo. We're good, Dave. Look at her.
Give her kiss back.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't.
Okay. Then we'll do that at the end of the meeting. Okay. The March 9th, yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Okay, correspondence, 16 and 18 Valentine Drive. Anybody here from there? Yep. All right, you're up.
So I have reviewed the file, which was quite long, as well as the superseding determination of applicability from DEP. And I still think it's a little premature for me to really make a decision on how to proceed with this.
Wasn't their recommendation is to remove the soil from the second property and put it back on the property that was filling in? Which was what, 16? Who did the filling? 16? I did, yeah. So to take it off 18 and put it back on 16 at least, and we get that part removed?
Yes.
And then, yeah, then it'll be up to you to make the recommendation, you know. to
Yeah, so
next
there's
step.
the issue there are at least 2 open enforcement orders. And I think before the commission requires any work, that those be rescinded and cleaned up, so there aren't so many moving parts.
Do you have recommendations, or parts on that?
I don't know.
Those from the DEP, the orders?
No,
Us.
Or us?
those are, yes, issued by you.
But can the dirt be removed
Can it be removed? Yes.
to put on the one property?
Yes. So my plan is to speak with Janet, who has a lot more knowledge regarding
Yeah.
this issue, and visit the site next week to see what the existing conditions are now, whether or not there's been vegetation growth since the fill was originally placed. If there may be invasive species issues, things like that, before really making recommendations.
So we hopefully can finalize it at next month's meeting.
Yes.
But the one action that could take place is removal, and that would be up to the landowner, 16, right? To have that removed, or be a double charge because you're going to move it once and then spread it around another time with a piece of equipment.
I don't think Caitlin's saying if there's vegetation that's grown on that, we can't.
Yeah,
remove it.
so that would
gotta
be a
be
concern. It's been there
Okay,
for
so
a
the whole
couple of
thing
years
okay.
now.
All right, let's move it to next. Yes, sir.
Hi. It's Jason Gilletti at 18
Oh,
Valentine.
microphone, please.
Hi, it's Jason Gilletti at 18 Valentine Drive. My understanding is that the DEP is planning on issuing a sort of second step to the superseding order that they sent out on March 24th. It's going to be a unilateral administration order. So before you guys take your
okay.
next steps, I think it might be worthwhile reaching out to the DEP to understand what their plans are.
Yeah, thank you for enlightening us. Yeah, well, I didn't have that part of
in
it.
that report, but I didn't read it all the way to the end either, so.
It wasn't in the report. My attorney contacted the DEP to get some insight.
Oh, okay.
We need to be notified of that. I mean,
Yeah,
Nobody
so-
notified us
Yeah.
of anything of that
Yeah,
such.
so if you could
I'll
contact DEP.
Yes.
And hopefully we have luck and talk to a body and get the feedback.
Have they reached out to you about?
Nobody has notified me of anything.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get it all cleaned up for next month and put this to bed.
Yeah, it's getting old. It really is.
3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
The stuff's got to be removed. We had that. The DEP didn't make a decision, it seems, on.
Yeah, oh yeah, it took them so
Now
long.
we're just kicking the can down the street here, and I mean, I'd like to see it get finished and
Yeah.
done myself.
Yep. So, yeah, let us get the information and we'll put it on next month's agenda and give you a motion or whatever.
Next
Okay.
month, do you mind giving us a time slot?
Oh, of course, May 11th at 7:20. Okay? Thank you. We appreciate your cooperations with us, and, yeah, with DEP acting the way they are, it's been slow as molasses in winter. So, thank you. Then we'll go to new and old business, 144 Seekonk Street. Have you walked there yet?
Yes, so I was out there last week, Tuesday, and with Rich McCarthy. While we were out there, they were in the process of adding some additional erosion control measures.
Around the vernal pools and stuff?
They were adding it in two locations. One was on the rear portion of the property that slopes down
Yeah.
to that potential vernal pool. The enhanced erosion control measures was, it's called super silt fence. And it's basically silt fencing that's attached to wire fence material. I think it looks to be approximately like 3 feet tall. And the contractor was saying it's typically used in coastal projects that are subject to tidal movement. There's the soil out there is pretty silty. There were several areas where the silt fence was almost entirely buried. A couple locations where there was some sediment on the other side of the silt fence. And then the biggest area of concern was near Wetland Flag 71A, which is kind of I'm trying to think of
Driveway? There was something on the
it's
driveway?
the top portion of that, the narrow wetland system that runs kind of in the middle of the site with that second potential vernal pool at the bottom of that. When I went out there a second time, so the ponded water on the other side of the silt fence was slightly turbid. When I went out there the next day after it had rained, it didn't seem that that sediment-laden water had moved any farther down gradient. That was one of the areas where they installed that super silt fence. Since there is going to be significant rain, it looks like this weekend, I'm planning on doing another site visit next week to assess that area, as well as some other areas where they may need to either dig out the existing silt fence or maybe add some reinforcements.
Okay.
And then as far as sediment that is on the other side of the silt fencing, in several areas, it's a small amount that could be hand removed. And if that's something that you'd like to see, I can reach out to the
Yeah, let us know when you
contractor.
plan to go out. Hopefully, do it in the afternoon if you would, because I work
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay, so you wanted to
Yeah, I'd go out with it.
go, okay.
Yeah.
Are we allowed on the site now that it's in construction mode? I know there was a,
Do you have to ask permission, or?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Then
I know the contractors pretty well. They're pretty good contractors.
Yeah, I spoke with several people when I was out there, and they seemed to,
Cordial.
to be cordial.
Since it's an active project, you're right.
An
I mean, it
active
wasn't
project,
like
yeah.
they are in front of us in a hearing, and we had asked permission to go up on the property. So if that's the case, then let us know when you're planning to do it, and as I said, I'd like to accompany you.
Okay.
Like to learn, see. Yes,
Yeah,
and that's a
and
big
then-
project. I mean, we spent a lot of time on this one.
Yes, we did.
And so I'd like
how
to.
are you doing all this, really? It's,
Yeah.
you know, between Valentine and 4144 Seekonk.
A couple
That'll
years.
keep you going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
So as far as your thoughts on anything based on what you have learned so far, do you have any things that you would like to see, like have me reach out to the contractor and have them start hand removing some of that sediment and digging out
Yeah, I
some
mean,
of
you could do
the
that.
silt fencing?
Yeah. Let them.
You're gonna maintain it.
Yeah, let them continue their work, but do what your recommendations are. And then, after the rain, let's take a walk up there.
Okay.
The last thing they want to see is a cease and desist.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll probably do whatever you ask.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see. They got to maintain that silt fence.
Yeah, it was nice to see that they seemed to be slightly on top of it.
And the owner has been cooperative with us. It's been agonizing because it's taken so long within all the town committees and commissions. But now that they've gotten approval, it's moving forward. I think, it should be welcoming us, and we're just giving them guidance or something else to look at.
Yeah, so when I was first out there, Tuesday, April 5th, they had pretty much all hands on deck installing those enforced silt fencing
nice.
because heavy rain was predicted for the next day. So that was good to see that they're taking it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, as Alan said, they don't want to cease and desist.
When would that bottomless culvert be installed? Would that be one of the first things they'd be doing? Do you know?
For the wetland crossing?
Yeah.
By the bridge? Is that one there?
Yeah, I think so. They gotta put a crossing. I know it's bottomless. It doesn't have a bottom to it.
I'm not 100% sure what the construction sequence is. I know that one of the first phases is to get the roadway layout down, so I would assume that would also involve putting in the culvert, so it would probably happen at the same time.
Yeah.
But I can find out that information for you.
Yeah, I'd just be interested to see that going in and see, make sure it does get in before they start disturbing the area. I think that would have to be done, so.
Okay, any other comments, questions for 144, Seekonk? Okay, Conservation Commission fees. We had talked about it, and Elaine's been very helpful in putting it all together, Norfolk, Foxborough, Franklin, Medfield, Medway, Millis, Walpole, and Rentham, of what all the fees are for. I went through it and put what we had, and well, a lot of it was filled out, but I also have the recommendations. What I'd like to do tonight is talk about the recommendations, and then we can vote on it next month, if that's agreeable to everybody. What's the best way? Can you put another column in this and say recommendations?
Absolutely.
Okay, why don't we do that? I'll give you this and at the end of the meeting, and do that and send it out to everybody, and we'll vote on it next month. Why next week? Next month.
Want to do something next week?
Okay. Moving date. We've always been the first Wednesday. We have a candidate that's interested in joining us, but she has a conflict on the first Wednesday. And she was wondering if we could switch it to another week or another day of the week.
Has it always been the first Wednesday or the second Wednesday?
The second Wednesday.
That's not what it says on the agenda.
It's moving it to the first
It's always been the
Wednesday.
second Wednesday.
Oh, moving it to the first
Move it to
Wednesday.
the first.
I'm sorry.
No,
My
that's all right,
mistake.
Dave. That's all right, Dave. We just want to make sure
Yeah.
we're all on the same page.
How's everybody's schedule for the first Wednesday?
It's fine for me.
It's fine.
Depends on who this person is.
No, it's fine.
I have no problem with it, Dave.
Okay. Yeah.
So this would be after the May meeting.
Yes. So with that, want somebody make a motion to move our meeting date to the first Wednesday of the month?
Will this work, Dave, also with the town, with everybody else having?
Yeah, I believe so, right? Elaine, we looked at the calendar and,
Just, I don't hate to make the motions, vote on it, and say, oh, you
Yeah.
can't have it.
Yeah.
On that first Wednesday.
so if we vote on it, then Elaine can put it in the system of.
For June?
For June, and, yeah, we'll go forward.
It's June 1st.
We still have a month to rescind it if we decide it doesn't work.
True.
The person is definitely wanting to be on the board.
Yes.
Okay. I'd hate to do this and then they rescind and say, 2 months down the road, I don't want to do it anymore. I mean, come on. But anyway. I'll make a motion to change our meeting to the first Wednesday of every month, starting in June.
Okay, second.
Valstone, I second.
Any further comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, starting in June, we'll be on the first Wednesday. And Select Board Policies and Code of Conduct. Has everybody read it? And do we have to approve this? Because I'm not in favor of approving it, is why I'm bringing it up. I'm not to put my opinion on anybody, but
Do I need to rescind myself from this because I've already signed it?
Yeah, please.
So I rescind
But you
myself.
could comment.
I can comment, yes.
What's your specific objection?
That's what I'm thinking in my head.
How are you going to phrase it?
I have knowledge and have seen that the select board policies are not enforced. And so if they're not going to be enforced with the policies and the code of conduct, then I say, no, we don't vote on it until you prove to us that you will enforce them.
Yeah, there's no point in having a policy you don't enforce.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any penalty against us if we say no. So, again, that's my personal opinion, and feel free to talk about it. We can bring it up next month, give you a little time to think about it, except for Alan.
Well, obviously don't have the history that you have, so, I mean, as far as continuance, I would defer to you for next month.
Same.
I think we can vote on it tonight if you think my point was acceptable. And I can't tell you why at this time. But
Well, if there's nothing imperative about getting this done tonight, then let's continue it, and
Okay.
that way we can not discuss it for a month.
okay. That's fine with me. So with that, is there any other new business? Seeing none, I will accept that motion.
I'll make a motion to close tonight's meeting.
Is there a second? Oh, yes, sir.
Can I ask a question I thought of once I came back to my seat?
Sure.
Let's think about this now.
Microphone?
Yep, please.
Hi, it's Jason Gilbody at 18 Valentine again. I was just curious if you all received an appeal at all to the DEP's order.
I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, just curious. Thanks.
You haven't either.
Okay. I have not.
All right, thank you.
So I just wanted to confirm that you
Sure,
hadn't.
sure. Okay, we have a motion to close. Is there a second?
Maggie Crow, second.
Maggie, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes, and the meeting is closed. Thank you.